Class 8, kindly response. Okay, very good. So, we have just welcome. First, I welcome you in our live class. Now, we have already started this chapter some days ago, Understanding Secularism. And today, I hope to just complete it. And here, while in this chapter, we have seen that what is secularism, what do we mean by secularism, then why it is important to separate religion from state, what is Indian secularism. Even we have come to know that government schools, they cannot celebrate any particular religious celebration. That means they cannot celebrate any particular religious festival. And even we have come to know that Indian constitution, it just restricts itself from certain points which are related to religion. For example, the story of Paramjit, we have come to see that here Paramjit, being a Sikh, is having a pagri. That's why there is no requirement for him to wear a helmet. And he is quite confident that law is not going to take any step for this violation. So we will read from page number 24. Take out page number 24 of your political science book, political, that means social and political life 3, your book. The intervention of the state can also be in the form of support. So every time the matter of intervention, it does not mean to protest. Sometimes it can be even the matter of support. Good afternoon, sir. Yes, sir, you are audible and visible. Thank you, Sneha. Okay. The Indian Constitution grants the right to religious communities to set up their own schools and colleges. It gives them financial aid on a non-preferential basis. So in India, according to the Indian Constitution, the religious communities, they can set up their own schools and colleges. And even for setting up this one, they will get the fund and aid from the government. And but they have to remember that it must be on non-preferential basis. In what way is Indian secularism different from that of other democratic countries? It's quite important that why or in which area Indian constitution differs with other democratic countries, or Indian secularism it differs. Some of the above objectives are similar to those that have been included in the constitution of secular democratic countries in other parts of the world. For example, the First Amendment of the US Constitution prohibits the legislature from making laws respecting an establishment of religion or that prohibit the free exercise of religion. What is meant by the word establishment is that the legislature cannot declare any religion as the official religion. So the legislature does not have any power in the USA that it can say that you have to follow. That means the citizens, they have to follow a particular religion. No, it cannot be mandatory for them. Nor can they give preference to one religion. Even they cannot just become quite partial type of religion. They cannot show their partiality. Okay. Where I was? Yes. In the USA, the separation between state and religion means that neither the state nor religion can interfere in the affairs of one another. So here we can find that the state as well as the religion, they cannot poke their noses in others' matter. That means the state will never poke its nose in the matter of religion, and the religion will also not poke its nose in the matter of state. Now, There is one significant way in which Indian secularism differs from the dominant understanding of secularism as practiced in United States of America. This is because, unlike the strict separation between religion and the state in American secularism, in Indian secularism the state can intervene in religious affairs. So, in this United States or in America, we have seen that the state and religion, they are completely different from one another. They are not going to enter in others' area. But in India, what we can find is that the state can take some sort of measures to just improve the way the religion is being practiced in the country. So what is that? This is because, unlike the strict separation between religion and state in American secularism, in Indian secularism, the state can intervene in religious affairs. You have read about how the Indian constitution intervened in Hindu religious practices in order to abolish untouchability. So definitely the constitution, it has taken, the constitution means here I want to mean our constitution, Indian constitution. It has taken a great step to just remove one of the deadliest crimes like this practicing of untouchability from the country. It has been removed by the constitution. Now you will say, sir, isn't it practiced till now? Yes, it is practiced, but still then the law or the constitution has taken enough measures, enough steps so that it is being just, being totally abolished from the country. Now in some area of people, they are practicing it. It is their mentality, no, it is their poor way of practicing the religion or the poor way of just making any sort of assessment of their own religion. Or they are just practicing the religion in such a manner that others will develop some sort of hatred for the religion. So in Indian secularism, though the state is not strictly separate from religion, it does maintain a principal distance vis-a-vis religion. So here religion and state, they are maintaining some sort of safe distance from one another. They are just keeping just some sort of gap between them. This means that any interference in religion by the state has to be based on the ideals laid out in the constitution. As we have already come to know that constitution is actually the ruler of India. Whatever we are doing, whatever we are following, everything is written in the constitution and we are following it just. And if we are not following, that means we are violating the constitution. Trijit, what is the meaning of vis-a-vis? You are asking this one. State is not strictly separate from religion. It does not maintain, it does maintain a principal distance vis-a-vis religion. That means from both the end, it is this distance is maintained. Okay. Trijit, you are following, but you are not following everything. Page number 24. We have started from page number 24. Okay. Then, this means that any interference in religion by the state has to be based on the ideals laid out in the constitution. As I was saying, that the constitution is actually ruling us, so we have to follow whatever is written there, and if we are not following, that means we are violating the constitution. And here the state, that means the country, it can take some sort of measures for developing the religion or just bringing some sort of changes in the religion. But in that case, the state has to follow the constitution. It is clearly given there that in which area the state or the law can enter just to make some sort of changes or just to protest or support some cases which are being followed in some particular religions. These ideals serve as a standard through which we can judge whether the state is or is not behaving according to secular principles. So, from these we can judge, yes, whether the state is basically secular or it is just pretending to be secular. The Indian state is secular and works in various ways to prevent religious domination. The Indian constitution guarantees fundamental rights that are based on these secular principles. In our fundamental rights, we have already come to know that we are free to follow any religion, we are free to follow or practice any religious festival, we can celebrate it, and nobody can question me that why I am following this religion and why I am not preferring for the another one. It is just my own. I am free to follow. However, this is not to say that there is no violation of these rights in Indian society. Laws are there, but every time are we exactly following what is given in our law, what is written in the law, what we must be following? No. Every time we are just bringing some sort of change over there, every time we are breaking the law, we are breaking the rules, we are violating every time, in every case, every matter. So, even when the constitution has said that these are the areas where you cannot poke your nose or you cannot intervene or you cannot protest or support, still then we are doing, we are following, we are practicing, we are getting into all those type of things, and we are either creating some problem over there, or we are trying to just cut off something from there, or we are trying to just impose something there. Indeed, it is precisely because such violations happen frequently that we need a constitutional mechanism to prevent them from happening. So, some sort of weapon is required to fight for these vices, to fight this type of violation. And what it can be, what sort of weapons are required? Constitutional mechanism. That means we have to abide by the constitution, and if our fundamental, if we are getting any sort of objection, or if we are getting any sort of problem in following our fundamental rights, or in not, that means if we are not getting the scope to follow our fundamental rights, or we are not getting the chance to get or access our fundamental rights, in that case or in that matter, we can go to the court, we can report against all this type of crimes or against this violation. So, this is known as constitutional mechanism. Law is there to support us, constitution is there to safeguard our fundamental rights. The knowledge that such rights exist makes us sensitive to their violations and enables us to take actions when these violations take place. So, if we know, if we come to know that this sort of fundamental rights are given to us by the constitution, and if any sort of violation is there or some sort of objection is there, we can move to the court, we can take some sort of action against it, then definitely these things could be stopped. In February 2004, France passed a law banning students from wearing any conspicuous religious or political signs or symbols such as the Islamic headscarf, the Jewish skull cap, or large Christian crosses. This law has encountered a lot of resistance from the immigrants who were mainly from the former French colonies of Algeria, Tunisia, and Morocco. So, France, it passed a law in February 2004 that cannot use any sort of sign or symbol or political sign or symbol such as Islamic headscarf or Jewish skull cap or skull cap or large Christian crosses. You cannot carry them, or you cannot display that which religion you are following or which political party you are supporting. There is no need to display. And for while this law was introduced, at that time lots of resistance was there, because people were not at all ready to follow, especially from the immigrants, that means who have come from former French colonies like Algeria, Tunisia, and Morocco. In the 1960s, France had faced a shortage of workers and therefore had provided visas for these immigrants to come and work in the country. So, France was in requirement of some workers, because the shortage of workers were there, and for that reason visas were provided to these immigrants and they came into the country. The daughters of these immigrants often wore headscarves while attending schools because it is there in their religion, that's why they are using, or that's why they were using. But however, when the passing of this, when this law was passed, at that time these students, they were expelled from their school for wearing headscarves. So once the law has been passed in the country, you are bound to follow that, and if you are not following, then the law can take some sort of action against you, and this happened over here. So children, with this we have completed this chapter, and in our next class we will discuss the question answers. And if you are having any problem, query or doubt, you can ask me right now. And study the chapter properly at home. It's very important. Oishi, no doubt. Chandranath, no problem, sir. Thank you. Oishi, okay, sir. No, sir, no problem. No problem, sir. Thank you, children. So, sitting at home, you will read properly this chapter, and still then, if you are having any query or doubt, you can definitely ask me through our e-portal. I will try to answer. Okay, bye. Stay just safely at home and follow your parents.